Dear future wife, dear future wife, dear my future wife, dear future wife, dear future wife. This was my entire 2023.
Hey, sing this shit! Put it on! Hey! Hey, bust it up! What you say? Hey, sing that shit!
Is what I wish I could say. 2023 has been the worst and best year of my life. And where do I even start? I went through a breakup that almost killed me. I bought a house in one of the world's toughest markets. I traveled a shit ton. I went clubbing, confirmed I hate clubbing, dislocated my shoulder, ran a half marathon with absolutely zero training and on 4 hours of sleep. I lost some friends. I made some friends. I had dinner with my family, who I haven't said a single word to in over 3 years. I refound my love for dance and gymnastics. I almost benched 2 plates, donated blood. I made out with a random girl in Alaska. I had my heart tugged on at a poetry slam. I laughed my ass off at comedy clubs. I cheered for basketball teams I had no care in the world for. And finally, I found my identity back this year. This year started like most beginnings. I hated my family. I didn't think I needed anyone because I thought I was better than everyone. I told multiple people that mental health is not real because I thought it was all just excuses. I worked all day and all night. I saved up every dollar I made, and every day was the same. I woke up, worked, tutored, ate dinner, slept, and repeat. I said no to pretty much every experience because it cost too much time or money. But I know I was still a good intentioned guy who tried his version of best for everyone around him. I loved fully each and every day. I appreciated the people who I had in my life, again, in the version of best that I could. And I loved life, and I woke up every single day ready to take on the world. Fast forward to March, I traveled on a plane for the first time since 2014. I got to experience what traveling was like. I went to Denver and I got to see how beautiful the world really was, and I got to experience real snow for the first time in my life. Then came the summer. I bought a condo, then immediately left to Thailand, and then almost immediately got my heart broken. Not much happened after I achieved my life goal of buying a house. I'm sure that this place will be a great investment for the future, but it's saddening to say that nothing amazing happened from buying the house. No big celebration, no huge relief, nothing. And not much happened in Thailand, except I ate a lot of cheap food, saw some great temples and nature, and I sweated my balls off. But a lot happened from the breakup. Despite how the breakup went down, I couldn't get angry. I couldn't even let her go. Because her staying was better than being alone. The week after my breakup, I lost over 10 pounds from not eating, because sharing a meal meant something so much more to me. For the first time, I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't do simple things like do laundry, take a shower, brush my teeth, make myself a meal. Shit, I couldn't even eat a meal. I had to have a friend stay over and pretty much take care of me because I know I couldn't do it myself. I had panic attacks multiple times a day, and I fell into very bad downward spirals where I started to think some really dumb things. If I wasn't working, I had to go back home because I had absolutely no hobbies or interests. But being back home was one of the most scariest things I had to do every day. It was a dark place without the warmth and love I used to both give and receive. I remember literally having really bad panic attacks when people would cancel on me because it meant I had to go back home. This was a really tough hit in my life that I'm still recovering from. Including my childhood, which was not the greatest, this was easily the most painful part of my life. Following this breakup, I took a leap of faith and started saying yes to everything. And from all of these experiences, I found a little life lesson every time. I went to Boston and learned that you, my future wife, are out there, and I had to keep pushing myself and keep improving if I have any chance of meeting you. I also learned that this world has so much to offer, and I can remake my life into any way I see fit. I went clubbing for the first time ever, and I had a great time just dancing again and not giving a fuck about what others thought. I learned it's okay to be done and to trust your friend in making sure you're safe and having a fun time. I decided on the spot to donate blood at work, and from that simple experience, I learned that I needed to do more and think less, especially when you know that the experience will all be worth it in the end. Following this, I went to a random lake near Julian and learned how beautiful and peaceful nature is. I found ways to really be present and to slow things down to find peace. I went on a road trip all the way up to Seattle and learned that I have the world's bestest friend, someone who understands me in every single way possible, has my back forever, and I can simply be the most authentic, freest, no filter version of me with this person. The day I got back from this road trip, I then went to 2 concerts. I had never gone to a concert before in my life, and let me tell you, these concerts were so much fun. I learned to say screw the cost and just experience new things. This music is where I met multiple really cool people who I just got to dance and vibe out with. Then came the failed New Orleans trip. I had planned a trip to New Orleans where the flight got canceled while we were out in our layover. We ended up taking a convertible Camaro rental and drove that baby back home. I learned to roll with the punches and that it's tough to have plans change, but making the best out of the new ones can sometimes be better than the original. I talked to my family after 3 long years of not saying a word. The day I decided to talk to them and have dinner with them, I had tried to justify why I wanted to do it, but I just couldn't. There were no positives that could have came from this. There were no expectations of kumbaya with them. I simply felt like I wanted to, and so I decided to jump blindfolded back into a very traumatic place for myself. I remember calling my friends, letting them know to have their phones on them in case it turned out terribly. But actually, it went pretty okay. I learned that I am just not a person who can carry hate. I truly believe that I have yet to encounter a bad person. Looking back now, I've learned that I went back to my family to enjoy the positive sides of my childhood. My family may have done me wrong, but there were always something to enjoy. And now that I am my own person, in which they have no responsibility or liability over, I think I can finally enjoy my family as just people, instead of stressed out people taking care of other stressed out people. Soon afterwards, I went to Charlotte, North Carolina. The East Coast is so beautiful, and there's really a beautiful peace to living in a smaller town and enjoying the seasons. From this trip, I learned just how powerful I am. I have accomplished so much in the past few years, and I've created for myself a very secure and privileged life. This is what jump-started my idea to take a leap and start my own startup. I'm in such a secure position where I can finally allow myself to take risks, and the consequences won't be as bad. I guess I don't find that now with my entire life. I discovered that my goal in life isn't to maximize happiness and minimize pain, but I want to experience as much as I can, knowing that I'm secure enough to not allow pain and risk to affect me too much. Forward to Halloween, I went to the Balboa Park Haunted Trails. This day was one of the most fun holidays I have had in a long while. The crazy part was I had pretty much planned to go home and cry myself to sleep that night. This was a completely spontaneous hangout and just being in the right time and right place. We went through these haunted trails just running around and enjoying each other's company. This is where I learned to let life happen. It's where I really learned to just let go and see what happens, and it usually turns out just fine. A few days following, I went to Julian with a good friend. Not much happened here, but I did learn something very important. I learned that everyone is going through shit all the damn time. I learned to try my best to just listen and empathize with people. Sometimes people don't need solutions. Sometimes maybe they just need someone to relate to. Fast forward, I actually went to an open mic karaoke thing. Nothing too deep here, but I learned just to always remain silly. Finally went to a gymnastics center. I felt like a little kid again, and it felt so free and so good to jump and flip like I used to. I learned from this that I really needed to do something about how little I was moving and to use up all the latent energy I had every night. I am in my physical prime, and I need to learn to use my energy and go have fun with it like I used to as a child. A few months later, I went to Big Bear this year. I went snowboarding, and this is where I learned that I want to start documenting my life. Life is so fun and so interesting, and I really want to be able to show you my past life one day. I went to a poetry slam, and I instantly fell in love with the stories and the diction of these brilliant poets. It was so beautiful to have someone say exactly how you are feeling in such an inspiring story. I learned to enjoy art and to really feel my feelings in a much deeper way. Believe it or not, I ran a half marathon. If you don't know, this is 13.1 miles. Holy crap, it was so brutal. The race started at 7 a.m. I slept that previous day from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., and I stayed awake throughout the night after clubbing with some friends. I also didn't train for this half marathon. In my defense, I signed up for it impulsively during the height of the breakup. Nonetheless, I finished the whole thing, and I truly proved to myself that my mind is stronger than it thinks. I proved that I literally can do anything I set my mind to. Lastly, I went to Alaska. I learned to really just enjoy life and to enjoy the dark and the cold. I learned what seems to be scary, painful, and displeasing is really serene and peaceful as long as you have the right perspective. In between all of these experiences, I also experienced such amazing conversations about life from people of many different perspectives that helped me see the world differently. I learned that all the middle experiences, the ones that don't go on Instagram and Snapchat, are the ones that really do a lot, and we need to celebrate those as well. These conversations, these moments, these little times where you just enjoy each other's presence, or even your own presence, is what I truly want to hold on to, and I believe it's where the real growth comes from. The little learning moments, day in and day out. Finally, to my future wife, wherever you are. I just wanted to let you know that I'm trying my best to meet you. Every day, I will continue to improve myself physically, emotionally, financially, mentally, and every other lead. I will make sure that when we do meet, I'm available to love you with 100% capacity, and that I will be the most authentic, most bestest version of me for you. A version of me that is so good by himself that the only way to improve is by finding you. So, to the love of my life, I have always loved you. I love you now, and I will continue to love you in every life. P.S. Kiss the kids for me.